Dear friends, a lifetime of love. That is the most precious gift that each of us can give to life. In the hustle and bustle of life, there are times when we forget that the most beautiful thing is not the great things we achieve, but the small loves we share every day. Who would have thought a young woman in her early 30s, living a seemingly normal life in the suburbs, would one day stumble upon the kind of secret that could tear her family apart in a way no one could ever prepare for? Her name was Naomi, married for 6 years to Adam, a man she believed to be her soulmate. They had 2 children together, a small house with white fences, and routines that spoke of comfort and ordinary happiness. But what Naomi didn't know was that the very people closest to her were not what they seemed. And it all started with something as innocuous as a baby monitor. Naomi's daughter, Emily, had just turned 4. She'd been waking up in the middle of the night, crying about shadows in her room. To soothe her daughter and figure out what was going on, Naomi ordered a new high-definition baby monitor with a night vision camera and 2-way audio. She didn't realize at the time that this small purchase would become the key to uncovering a scandal so vile, so twisted, it would stain her family's legacy forever. The camera had a cloud recording feature, automatically uploading clips to an app on Naomi's phone. At first, everything seemed fine. Shadows turned out to be just passing car lights, and Emily slept peacefully. But one morning, Naomi woke up to several notifications from the camera during hours she wasn't awake. Curious, she opened the app. What she saw made her heart freeze. There was movement in the living room. At 2:37 a.m., her mother, Lydia, who had moved in with them after a hip surgery, was there. That wasn't strange in itself. Lydia often wandered at night due to insomnia. But what sent icy tendrils down Naomi's spine was who walked into the room next, Adam. Shirtless. Whispers, laughter, tension. The footage was grainy, but the implication was unmistakable. Naomi sat, unmoving, eyes wide, blood roaring in her ears as she watched her husband and her mother lean in too close, touch too intimately, and then, the footage cut off. She couldn't breathe. At first, she tried to rationalize it. Maybe Adam was helping Lydia with something. Maybe she was seeing things that weren't there. She scrolled back, rewatched the clip, over and over. Each time, the pit in her stomach grew deeper. Naomi didn't say anything that morning. She smiled at Adam over breakfast, kissed her kids goodbye, even brought her mother tea. But inside, something had ruptured. She needed proof. Real proof. So she set up a hidden camera in the living room, angled perfectly, disguised as a decorative clock. She didn't know what she was hoping to find. Maybe that she was wrong. Maybe that it was a misunderstanding. Maybe. But the universe wasn't that kind. What the camera captured over the next few days made Naomi feel like she was living in a nightmare. The stolen glances, the whispered conversations when they thought she wasn't home, the brushing of fingers, the lingering hugs. Then one night, while Naomi was supposedly asleep upstairs with a mild migraine, they thought they were alone. She watched everything. Her husband, her mother, on her couch, in her home. The betrayal hit like a blunt force trauma. She didn't cry. She didn't scream. She just sat there, numb, feeling her world crumble around her. How long had it been going on? Why? Why would her own mother do this to her? What kind of man would do this to the mother of his children? The questions had no answers. Or maybe they did, and she was too afraid to face them. For days, Naomi said nothing. She played the part. But every word felt like poison, every hug a lie. She watched her children laugh with their grandmother and her husband, and it broke her. She needed to confront them. But not yet. First, she needed leverage. She collected footage, backed up every clip, every conversation. She began tracking their schedules. She even planted a second camera in the guest room where Lydia stayed. What she discovered was even more disturbing. Lydia wasn't remorseful. In fact, in one recorded phone call to a friend, she laughed. Laughed about how Adam was younger than her last fling. How Naomi was too naive to notice. How it's not like she's doing anything with him anymore. Naomi felt her chest cave in. This wasn't a one-time mistake. This was planned, deliberate, cruel. And Adam, he wasn't coerced. He was all in, bragging in hushed tones during one of their midnight trysts about how Lydia understood him better. How Naomi had changed after the kids. How he missed being with someone who knew what they wanted. Naomi realized she had been living with strangers. It all culminated one evening when she gathered them both in the living room, calm, collected, with the camera rolling behind a stack of books on the shelf. "I know," she said simply. They blinked, confused, then nervous. "I've seen everything. Every lie, every touch, every betrayal." Lydia stammered, trying to play the maternal card. Adam looked like he was trying to remember if he had deleted the footage. "Don't bother denying it. I have it all saved. And if you think for a second that I'm going to let you two continue this while pretending we're a family." Her voice cracked. "Then you don't know me at all." She walked out, took her kids, filed for divorce, cut off her mother. It made the news. How could it not? Small town. Big scandal. Reporters camped outside for weeks. But Naomi didn't care. She had lost everything. But she had gained clarity. And she would never let betrayal grow in the shadows again. Who would have expected a young woman outside 30, living a normal life in a quiet suburb, suddenly discovered a secret that destroyed her whole family in a way that no one could anticipate? Her name is Naomi. Naomi has been married for 6 years with Adam, the man she once believed was a soulmate. They have 2 children together, a small house with a white paint fence, and the habits of repeating every day. A simple, warm life. But Naomi did not know that the loved ones most around her were hiding a dark truth. And it all started from a seemingly harmless object, the newspaper crying for the baby. Naomi's little daughter, young Emily, just turned 4 years old. Recently, the baby has been startled in the middle of the night, muttering about the black shadows in the room. To reassure the child and understand what is going on, Naomi bought a new crying machine, with infrared camera, 2-way sound, and especially the automatic video recording feature, connected to the phone application. Naomi did not know this small technology item was the key to opening a hell door where hiding a horrific truth will tarnish her family's blood. Initially, everything was normal. The shadows that Emily talked about was actually just a car light in the window. Emily slept well, Naomi was more assured. Until one morning, Naomi woke up and saw a series of notifications from the camera. At the time, she was definitely sleeping. Curious, Naomi opened the review application, and her heart seemed to stop beating. At 2:37 a.m., there is movement in the living room. Her mother, Lydia, appeared on the screen. Nothing is unusual, because Lydia or insomnia and often walks in the middle of the night. She moved to live with Naomi after the hip replacement surgery. But what made Naomi shiver? The one who entered the room right after Adam. No shirt. There was a whisper, laughing softly. The gesture between them, too close, too intimate. The scene is not clear, but the implication is too clear. Naomi sat motionless, her eyes widened. Blood seemed to withdraw from her when she saw her mother and her husband, leaning closer, touching each other in a caressing way. Then the image stopped. The clip was suddenly cut. She could not breathe.